ESPN, and the Lions win this one 24-23. Dan Campbell and these Lions are going to the playoffs. And how about that post-game speech was epic, by the way. If you haven't seen it, you'll see it next hour. So the Lions won their first playoff game since the 1991 season. Detroit had lost 9 straight postseason games entering this year's wildcard matchup against the Rams, the longest postseason losing streak in NFL history. RC, considering the matchup, considering all the conversation around these two quarterbacks and them being, trading spaces and all that jazz, how impressive was the win for the Lions?
It was so impressive because it was about belief. Dan Campbell has believed in this team until they started to believe in themselves. He's always coached the game to win, and he never coaches the game not to lose. Think about last year, Penei Sewell winning a game with a 4th down. Having a hook and ladder be the play that put the Green Bay Packers out of the playoffs. And on 2nd and 9, to decide to throw the football, this isn't a gamble. You're going with your quarterback who you've watched come up in these moments for the last 3 years, and you're throwing the football to your all-pro wide receiver, Amon-Ra St. Brown. When it gets down to the end of the game and it's crucial moments, this team is never out of place because they don't see it as we have to be out of character to win. They see it as we have to be exactly who we've been coached to be in the best moments.
Culture's the hardest thing in the NFL to establish or change. Dan Campbell has absolutely done that. I think 2 coaches stood out to me when it comes to the NFL performance this weekend. Matt LaFleur in Green Bay, and then Aaron Glenn, the defensive coordinator for the Detroit Lions. He was spectacular, specifically in the second half. The Rams' offense is so difficult because of these stacks and bunches and motions. I thought Detroit's secondary was fantastic when it comes to playing on different levels so they didn't get picked off in so many different ways. And the different plays or the different ways that he planned in the red zone, all-out pressure one time, drop 8 another time, double team another time. It was just very clear that Aaron Glenn had a understanding of we're not going to get beat getting hurt by what they do best. And I thought that really stood out because as great as the offense was, that defense had to make a couple stops. That's why they won the football game.
Yeah, the reason why we were talking about the Los Angeles Rams coming into the playoffs is because they never became one-dimensional. And we start talking about this offense with the run game with Kyron Williams and obviously the play action with Matthew Stafford. I love that Detroit took the run game away last night. They played physical and they played up into the line of scrimmage. Anzalone was phenomenal. And you see these guys, they are pulling the trigger downhill on these run plays. That's scary to do against Matthew Stafford. But he made an adjustment early in this game when these guys start playing hat in hands and taking gaps away and just eliminated one phase of this game. This offense was really good.
Hey, remember we were saying, though, Detroit did not play bad. If you looked at the stats by Stafford,
the run defense has been good.
They played good.
It was elite by Matthew Stafford. And those receivers, the one concern I had was the tackling early in the game. That was the one thing that was glaring. But they shut the run game down and made it a passing game, and they were able to do what you guys just talked about, play on those different levels. Aiden Hutchinson started coming up. They started moving Matt off the point, and they made that was a phenomenal game by Detroit's defense. They won that game because of defense. I know 100%. We want to talk about Jared Goff. The defense won that game for Detroit.
They won that game because of the defense in the red zone, which I think is important as we spin it forward. So going into this game, we all thought these Rams wide receivers against these Detroit corners, that's a mismatch. And it was a mismatch in the field where the Rams are so condensed and they're able to create space for their wide receivers. But when that space is constricted, you saw that matchup dissipate. And suddenly, Detroit's defensive line, which is so good against the run, is able to win. Aiden Hutchinson is winning. Alim McNeil was fantastic. They had some well-timed pressures. The slot blitz with Brian Brandt was tremendous. And as we spin this forward, look, I still don't think Detroit has a great pass defense. But if they can bend, not break, like they did in this game, and I think they can because of their personnel, they've got a real shot.
When you rewatch it, I was thinking, okay, in the red zone, Matthew must have missed somebody or got off someone too quickly. No one was open. And I think it ties together, they couldn't run it in the red zone because that front was doing such a good job. And in the pass coverage, they just locked everybody up.
Hey, I just want to address the lion-sized elephant in the room that we all picked the Rams, and the NFL Live curse was proven wrong for the Chiefs.
We actually picked Detroit by doing that.
We did. So thank you, Lions fans. I mean, you're welcome. Yeah, it was. We didn't have great picks on Friday. We're going to wipe Friday from the record.